I've been kicked out of my near every bar around. I've been locked up for driving 120 through town. I've been shot at and cut with a knife, messing around with another man's wife. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Threw my boss out the window and got fired for my last job. Hot wired a city truck and turned it over in the mayor's yard. Paid my brother-in-law half to death. Lost $20 on his football bet. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Good old boys, we're all the same. Ain't no way we will ever change.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Come in handy if I put on some headphones. Alongside Commander Cody, I would be your host. Ash is gone. Ash is out. Ash is in Canada. Probably listening. Can't be positive. We're going to have a great show today. Lots and lots to talk about. Top of the order is the hostages are freed in Israel, and we'll get to that in just a moment. I'm trusting you can hear me. Everybody good. Make sure the sound is good. John Paul, I am flying solo. I revel in the opportunity. The Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at H.E. Deerland Feed. For everything you need, there's Deerland Feed. I went by on Friday after we talked. They had their ranch days. Great folks there. There were, I actually bought a chew toy for Riker the Wonder Dog. Thank you, JP. And all is well. The place is bustling. It's like Americana. You go in there and it smells. Of course, it smells like what it is. It smells like a feed store. You get the different aromas. Parts of the store you walk through and you've got pesticides and herbicides and all that. And there's ropes and there's pulleys and there's fence sections. It's just a really cool place. It's like a hardware store on steroids. A great place to go. And they sponsor our weather. 64 degrees in Victoria under clear skies, heading to a high today of 88. Deerland Feed, where you need to be. It's your home. Big news, big news. Donald Trump this morning addressing what I call the Israeli parliament. I don't know what you would call it. It's their organization. It's a big square room. And a lot of dignitaries there. Steve Whitcomb, Marco Rubio, Raisin Cain, the general, the Jewish general was there. Of course, Bibi Netanyahu, all the folks, and Jared Kushner and Ivanka, and anyway, the president addressing the fact that all the hostages have been freed as of 5:22 this morning, Victoria time. So just within the last hour and a half. I'm sorry, tell me again.
We were already here prepping at that point.
Well, we were. And in fact, it's dominating local television. It's dominating the news. The president's been speaking now for probably about a half hour. And he just did Donald Trump things. He leans. And, it was a super effort. He does a lot of that. But you can't overemphasize the importance of what the man has accomplished. Now, I want you to stop and think about the Red Cross delivered all the hostages back to what they call Hostage Square. It's in Tel Aviv. It's a place of prayer for these folks. They've all been, it's all been, designated like Hostage Square because that's where folks have been gathering to pray for the hostages. Yes, Scott Tomko points out they had to walk a couple of people out. When Trump started, there were some people that screamed, and you hear this. I was listening on the radio, and it sounded like somebody hit a gavel, boom, boom, and I mean they wrestled these people to the ground, took them out, and Trump goes, "Man, that was efficient." That's what he called it because that was efficient. Hello, Alex. Yep. Good morning. It's always good to be called Coach. But anyway, the president's addressing this assembly. He really gave a lot of credit to Benjamin Netanyahu, and I just find it stark and contrasting, Cody, that you've got this whole group of people fueled by our terrible and biased media.
Right.
They want to label Donald Trump. He's Hitler. He's Hitler. Hates the Jews. And today, I've heard it called several different things. The Israeli Presidential Medal of Honor. At any rate, they just called it the Israeli Award on Breitbart this morning. But Donald Trump today is being awarded, or it was announced that he will be given this award, which would be like the Medal of Honor in the United States. Highest non-military honor you can get, highest award you can get from Israel. He is the first non-Jew to ever be given the award.
That's awesome.
So the president that helped create Israel, 1948, whatever it was, not given this award. Donald Trump given this award. Peace in the Middle East. Will it last? I mean, the Christian in me says, no, it won't
Right.
last. You know, these Arabs have been fighting forever. But you have to celebrate the victories. And Trump has pulled that off. All the hostages, 20 hostages. I saw some, they looked really thin. I mean, as you would expect. You know, they're probably been on the verge of starvation. Greg Garcia asked, where are all the Free Palestine protesters? Not a peep, which tells you that these people were just paid actors. A lot of truth in that.
Mm-hmm.
There are too many people in the world who just want chaos in the world. The devil loves chaos. Evil loves chaos. Chaos creates opportunities for people to do great things. It's exactly what happens. But at the end of the day, you know, I don't care personally if Donald Trump gets the Nobel Peace Prize. Just don't really care. You can keep hating what folks tell you about the man, or you can witness and revel at the results that he attains. That's the way I see it. You can either say, well, he's a bad guy, or he's this, or he's that. But he's clearly not an anti-Semite. And he really gave everybody else credit for this victory. He said, Steve Whitcomb, just such a great guy, and he's not a politician. He was a great real estate businessman. But Steve Whitcomb negotiated large portions of this peace. He said Marco Rubio, Donald Trump's quote, should go down and probably will go down as the greatest Secretary of State in the history of the United States. Bold. I mean, for a guy that you have to remember, these people were Trump's political enemies just 8 years ago. Rubio ran against Trump and talked tough and bad about Trump. You know, I don't know what you do except revel in the victories. And I don't have any doubt. I challenge anybody to convince me otherwise. Donald Trump, without Donald Trump, this simply doesn't happen. Simply doesn't happen. Greg Garcia says, I choose to revel in the fact that he has a backbone and keeps winning amidst all the hating. Success is the best revenge. No doubt. Linda Chris says, Trump should have gotten the Nobel Peace Prize, but it's a liberal thing. This is very true. Ronald Reagan stopped the Cold War back in his day, and they didn't give him the Nobel Prize either. True story. True story. At the end of the day, like, there's some logistics involved. The nominations for this year's Nobel Prize ended like in November, or certainly by January. And this piece had not been achieved at the time that the nominations ended. So I don't have a problem with him not getting it. I'll be surprised if he's not on the list for next year. But we'll see how that goes. I mean, right, and at the end of the day, does it matter? He's playing chess while everybody else is watching checkers. It's just the way I see it, you know, and I think if he continues to have these wins, it's just going to be very, very difficult for the left to stop this red wave, this conservative way that seems to be working for America. It is interesting that he, in the same moment that we're celebrating peace abroad, we have so much unrest at home. The National Guard troops in Memphis, people, you know, there's an easy way for me to sum this up. I'm like, hey, well, quit killing each other and we won't have to send the National Guard over there. Americans are the problem, right? Killing each other, black on black crime, white on white crime, idiots in the streets. Very, very difficult. Civic Connie says Obama was in office 10 days and he got it. So that blows that theory apart. But the truth is, Stephanie, Barack Obama somehow was nominated like after he got elected in November, before he took office in January. He was nominated in that window before the nominations closed. See? So you're right. Nobody can tell me. Nobody. Go Google it. You can't tell me what. Cody, feel free. Why did Barack Obama get the Nobel Peace Prize? What did he do? Did he negotiate a peace? Did he do anything? I say no. Linda Chris says even Hillary Clinton had to give Trump a compliment. That's how great this achievement was. What did Barack do?
Promotion of nuclear non-proliferation as a new climate in international relations fostered by Obama, especially in reaching out to the Muslim world.
Oh, so Barack told the Muzzies, don't nuke anybody. Okay, great. Boy, that's a lasting peace. That's inspiring. Anybody that thinks that Barack Obama did anything to merit the Nobel Peace Prize, what it did is it devalued the Nobel Peace Prize. That's what it did to me. Terry Murray, good morning. She's already
I think I butchered a word.
Proliferation.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Non-proliferation.
We're not here to judge.
We're
We're not here to
It's
judge.
Monday.
But I find myself amazed, somewhat in awe that, you know, the left tells you that he's Hitler and Israel is giving him the Israeli Presidential Medal of Honor, the only non-Jew to ever get it. Chances are the Jews know a Nazi when they see one. Chances are they know a guy that's anti-Semitic when they see it. So you're going to, believe what you read. Your lying eyes. What are you going to believe? I'm telling you that Donald Trump's doing great things. Now, that's his 8th war to end. That's his number. I don't know where the other 7 are, but that's his number that he ended that war. You move forward, as he prepared to leave for the Middle East, he made the comment, I guess I need to probably visit with Vlad, being Putin. Trump has done some saber rattling to intimate that he may send Tomahawk missiles. I'm surprised there aren't fake outrage, Native American, indigenous peoples proponents that are upset that a weapon of war would be called a Tomahawk. Seems like appropriating Native American nomenclature to discuss a weapon of war that benefits white people as we are colonizing the world. But Trump saying he may send Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine, the reason that's significant, the reason that's important, is that the Tomahawk has a much longer range, which would allow Vlad Zelensky to, for example, send missiles into Moscow if he wanted to. If that, you hit one of my hospitals, I'm hitting one of yours in Moscow. And our missiles are much more accurate. Our missiles are, so Trump did say, yes, Linda, yeah, I see a tomahawk is a weapon of war, but if you're going to, so since war is so bad, why would you name it an Indian name? Because that just makes the Indians look bad. I don't feel that way, but I could see some leftist sympathizer feeling that way. But it is a big deal because if he does give those missiles to Ukraine, it is a marked escalation of the war in Ukraine because now Zelensky has the ability to reach out and touch Moscow. And I think he would. And I think he would have to. And he's waiting on those weapons. So I think Trump is going to use that disappointment that he expresses in Putin for not helping end this war. He doubled down today in Israel and said, had I been president, this war in Ukraine would have never happened. I have said that here for years, and I think that's absolutely the truth. It just wouldn't have happened. Netanyahu said this morning that no single man ever has had an effect on the world like Donald Trump. And I just think it's absolutely the truth because not that we haven't had great leaders, but going back, we had regional presidencies. We didn't have the global reach that we do with the ability to talk to everyone at once on the internet, all these things. It's just, it's an amazing, amazing time to be able to watch that presentation this morning and to have Donald Trump, hello, Robert, to have Donald Trump walk into the Israeli parliament and have everybody stand. And then they don't clap like we do. They all clap at the same time. They were all clapping. And they really just stopped short of shouting USA, USA. I loved the control. I want to give it an adjective, but I loved the humility that President Trump showed this morning. Hi, Tommy Kingston, which is rare. As we know, we joke about he gets in his own way too often. But Donald Trump deflected all of this to Whitcomb and Rubio and General Kane, and he had the sense of place to give immense credit to President Netanyahu and just say, Bibi's a tough negotiator, very difficult. He's very difficult. He said, but that's what makes him great, is that he's difficult. Netanyahu, a true warrior, a true I've never seen anybody so resolute to be a man of his word as Bibi Netanyahu, who just says, we will eradicate Hamas. Well, it's done. So they claim 67,000, quote unquote, Palestinians were killed. That's a lot. That's a lot for 1,200 people in October. That is more than an eye for an eye to me. Let's see what else I've got for you. So much stuff. So the quick recap is the hostages are freed. The weather is good, 64 to 88. The Bluetooth is on. If somebody wants to call and express an opinion, talk about something, we're here. 894-4020. I don't require it. I don't need it. We have plenty of data, but you're always welcome to call. Ash is gone. Ash is taking a week of getaway, and good for him. Went to Canada. I think he's thinking about defecting. I don't know.
Nothing good's in Canada.
No, I can't think of anything good in Canada. Free healthcare, 80% taxes, free healthcare. Yeah. And Monty Howard, he says, yes, now DJT can focus more on Ukraine. And he will. I'll go out on a limb and tell you that I believe the Ukraine war is over before Christmas. I do. I think Donald Trump is at the point right now. Yeah, all is right with the world. Texas is back in the top 25. We'll talk about that as well. I think all is right right now that Putin, who is a person who doesn't really care what you think about him, he doesn't want the world mad at him. I look for Russia to wrap this thing up. It's not a popular war in Russia. It's certainly not a popular war in Ukraine. It doesn't get me away from the fact that I think Vlad Zelensky is a charlatan. He's just an opportunistic pud. But I understand that Ukraine is not wrong in this conflict. They're not wrong to defend their homeland. So we'll see how that goes. Take a quick break. I've got some news for you. Boy, that 10 minutes went by like that, from 7:10 to 7:20. Let's take a quick break. I've got some news for you about the government shutdown. Folks, Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. Not this week, but next week, the 23rd, on a Thursday, we will be at Palace Bingo.
We're doing it?
We're doing it on the 23rd. It's going to be fun, fun, fun. You can't go wrong at Palace. The food's great. The fellowship is amazing. Per usual, Brother Gary will make a flyby.
Oh.
Yes, just like that. USA Concrete Coatings, 578 Home. By the way, Palace Bingo is supporting local charities, 7 of them. One of which is Warriors Weekend, and we'll get to that update in a minute. You'll be proud. I was. USA Concrete Coatings, 578 Home. Charlie Garcia, inviting you and yours to have him come out. He can put down a tough as nails polyurethane coat that won't crack, stick, peel, or fade. Seal the cracks in your driveway. Seal the cracks in your garage. Charlie's a great guy, friendly guy. He'll help you with your concrete. Sand it, seal it, stain it, paint it. Veracruz Restaurant, it's Monday. Get back in. Monday at Veracruz. By the way, these restaurants, these people are busy, like Lee and Ida. They catered an event for us this weekend. They also catered a wedding. They work. Just as they're not open on Saturdays doesn't mean they're not working on Saturdays. Support your local folks. Get back in to Veracruz this week. The food's great. The people are even better.
You were telling me about the event they did for you guys, and that was really a reasonable price for who all they were feeding.
Absolutely.
That's worth noting.
They did a taco bar. So the kids had a homecoming dance this weekend. And, the normal deal. Well, we're going to go to Yamato. We're going to go to, wherever, Pump House, whatever. And you've got high school kids, many of whom either their parents are having to front the money,
right,
or the kids are having to spend money they work because they want to impress their dates and all that. So Dawn had the idea, why don't we just get with Lee and Ida and just have it catered here to the house? And they came out, they brought meat, beans, rice, queso, hot sauce, lettuce, tomatoes, the grated cheese, taco shells, the whole deal. We set up a taco bar. The kids had a blast, and it was under $10 a head.
Yeah, that's
it's just
stupid cheap.
It's a no-brainer. And then we had them in our home. They weren't on the roads. Then they went to the dance, which was DJ'd by our own Commander Cody.
Yep.
And then they came back to the house, and then we cooked them breakfast late.
Maybe I need to get on the food list, though.
Well, next time you could come by.
That could be my like
pre-rec.
Yeah.
You could come by pregame. Absolutely. You'd be more than welcome. Very quickly, Allen's Record Service, 578-6300. I saw Allen's over the weekend. They were busy. And I tell you what, there's still lots of fender benders in Victoria. Keep your head up when you're driving. Don't text and drive. Be smart. Be careful. Be safe. And when something happens, call Allen's Record Service, the dollar floor store for all your flooring needs. I don't know why my brain always goes to like luxury vinyl in like a pool house bathroom, right? You need something waterproof. You need something that's low maintenance. You go to the dollar floor store, they'll hook you up. Whatever your specific need is, go see them and they'll take care of it. White Trash Services, 550-1826. BJ and Scott Nelson and their wonderful team of wonderful people helping you in the multi-county region around us with trash collection services. They also do demolition and hauling off of old stuff. If you don't want something on your property, give them a call and they'll come help you. The chopping block, just your source for great beef. You want choice, you want prime, you want Wagyu, go by. It is a boutique of beef. They have wonderful sausage. We did a hamburger, all-American hamburger sausage with bacon and cheese. And they'll make you whatever you want. Tell them what you want, and they'll make it. I kind of put my time where my mouth was last week on. It's always important and worthwhile. I went out Saturday morning. I took Riker the Wonder Dog and Ryla and the Wonder Kid, and we went to the field.
I noticed he was second in that
He was
list.
second, yes. I took Riker. I allowed Rylan to come along, and we went out to the field of honor. And quick hits, quick thoughts. Extremely efficient, Cody. There were people. If you wanted to honor someone, if you wanted to pay for a flag, it was in. They had the square. You could just tip your card and go. Super nice ladies. Computer. Everything was computerized. Easy deal. And then you go over, and they would send the paperwork from here to there, and it would print out the sticker that goes on the ribbon, that goes on the flag, that goes on the field, and then a hats off because this individual is a friend of mine, and I have immense respect for Coach Wes Coley over at East High School baseball. He had his entire program out there, and the boys were all in Titans gear, and they were all helping place the flags. And
That's awesome.
A lot of legwork. There's a lot of land out there. And so when you buy the flag or you purchase the flag, they tell you, well, you're in section C on row 10, spot 9. And there's people there to help you find that. I actually went and placed the flag that we bought. And I want to compliment you folks, because what you do for us makes this type of stuff possible. But it was important to me, Ash and I, Wade and Carter, and the commander. So Wade
That's
and
right.
Carter sponsored a flag for our friend and the show's conscience, Judge Don Posey. And I thought that was appropriate. And Colonel Mike was there and took us up. And then Daniel Wade White was there too. He was doing the announcing, but took us up and announced that flag, and everybody cheered for Judge Posey. So
That's awesome.
it's there. It's among the flags. And a little unknown trivia. You know, Judge Posey got out of high school, went to Texas State, and when he got out of college, he enlisted in the Army to go to Vietnam. Now, that tells you something about somebody being a patriot right there. So, yeah, bold. Of course, he was a little target. You know, the judge wasn't that big a guy. Yeah, but great guy, and we're super proud to have been able to honor him.
And that's Bill's cousin, is that right? Okay.
Bill Posey's cousin. Yes. Let's see. I was going to tell you about the Department of Education. Let's see. Linda Chris says, did you hear they may start having a stock market in Texas? So now there'll be two, one in New York and one in Texas. It makes sense, right? If you want to invest in Texas, that makes sense. I think, so yeah, and that's a good idea. I mean, we can see how that works out. I would share with you that in the same breath that Donald Trump is being viewed as a dictator and all these things that he's supposedly doing, he also this weekend gutted the Department of Education. And if you slow down and take a deep breath and think about this, it won't bother you a bit. There is it's called IDEA. It's a 50-year-old program called the Individuals with Disability Education Act. And it's a very good idea. It is a very solid, it's more of a civil rights legislation than it is an education legislation, in that it guarantees what now is valued at 7.5 million. 7.5 million young children are deemed to be special ed, and it guarantees them equal, free, if you will, public education, as we take for granted, as should be the case in a nation like ours. And the idea was that back in the day, 50 something years ago, a lot of these kids weren't given equal opportunities. They were herded off into substandard facilities, and nobody oversaw what they were taught, how they were taught. And so the spectrum of the child with special needs that's allowed into or encouraged to attend public school is extremely broad. I mean, you can have a child that is deemed special needs who may just could be dyslexic, could be deaf, could be a number of things. Or they could be full on electric wheelchair born Stephen Hawking. I mean, it doesn't mean they're dumb. Stephen Hawking, genius, but totally special needs. So it's very, very difficult to regulate that from Washington, D.C. Donald Trump firing, hi, B.J. Nelson, Donald Trump firing, and of course, immediately the left, it's illegal. He can't fire those people. 466 people in D.C. kept the very highest levels of the Department of Education and some key staffers and support personnel, but in general sent those people from that division of the Department of Education, sent them home. And again, I have zero problem with this. There is nobody that said that their job was overseeing that these things were being done. Well, the state does that. State of Texas has an entire division of people that keep an eye on public education. That does not need to be mandated from Washington, D.C. The concept does. The fact that the law is in place needs to be done, but we don't need 500 people in D.C. to tell us in Texas how to take care of special needs kids. Don't need 500 of them. 10 per state, don't need them. State like Rhode Island maybe needs half a person. We don't need that. It's just government fat. And it, again, goes straight into the face of the people who say, well, he's consolidating power. He's a dictator. We've already had him called a Nazi, but yet Israel's giving him the Medal of Honor. He's been called a dictator, but all he's done is decentralize the federal government. He's sending power back to the states. He's challenging Governor Abbott to take over Texas education. I don't see the need for 500 people in D.C. to make sure that the IDEA legislation is being handled. Maybe 2 or 3 people. How many do you need? You got the internet. Somebody sends you an email. Oh, by the way, we think there's a violation in Tucson, Arizona. What do? Call the governor. Hey, Gov, get over there and take care of that. That's what you need. You need somebody to delegate responsibility and then hold somebody accountable for their authority.
Well, that's the second part, right? Like, not all the governors play very nice right now.
Right. Oh, because they're leftist idiots. People
Right.
are so just hellbound. Literally. It's more of a pun. They're so committed to disrupting whatever this administration is doing. They're not interested in the success of the country. They're only interested in the failure of Donald John Trump. And he just keeps winning. Why? The deal in the Middle East, hand to God, period. Hand to God. Donald Trump came in and said, look, this has got to end. For all the, did you know? Here's an idea. What is the biggest Muslim country? Most Muslims anywhere on the planet. You have any idea? Don't Google it, Cody.
It's not Iran.
No, it's not.
It's
the most Muslim country.
It's probably Canada or something.
Indonesia.
Okay.
Did you know?
Basically the same as Canada.
Just like Canada, but on another continent. Did you know that no Indonesian leader ever has visited Israel? Ever. That is the strength of the disdain of the Muslim for the Jew. No diplomatic effort ever from Indonesia to Israel. It's happening this week. Tomorrow, Indonesian leader going to Israel. Donald Trump. It's the Trump effect. I don't write the rules. I just observe the play. That's what's happening. I simply don't know. So I don't know what you do, except I'm not asking anybody to be a fan of Donald Trump. I'm sure there were lots of people that didn't like, lots of people right under him who didn't like General George Patton. But Patton got things done. Very interesting. So I think Trump, there's been no one like Trump. I can't imagine there being anyone else like Trump. I don't know how he does it. He stays in his own way a lot. He's not by any means the most eloquent speaker. He's not somebody you could make a living fact checking the guy. But in the big picture, he's just right so much.
I will say he seems to be more correct this go around than he was in his first presidency.
Well, I think that time has taught him. Remember that his curve, for better or worse,
Right.
Trump has been the chief executive of his businesses for 40 years, 50 years. And he's always been able to say, I want that done by Friday. And it was done by Friday, or you're fired. That's who he is.
Right.
And now he's like, well, I'm just going to run the country the way that I ran my businesses. And, oh, by the way, I'm going to run the world the way I run the country. I don't know. I find it refreshing. I think that the guy is just about as transparent as they come. And I love it when he goes on these little asides and says, about Marco Rubio. He's done a great job. He was very tough, very, very mean to me. I'm like, come on. I don't get that. Tammy Keeling says pulling Department of Education funds is an estimated $3.5 million hit to VISD. I don't believe it. And guess what? I don't care.
I'd like to see some fact check on that.
Yeah, $3.5 million to one school district. Let's see if you take that over all the school districts in this country. I'm not buying it. That's a lot. Yep. Lisa Poole says the reason he's been right his second term is because he had 4 years to strategize, organize, plan, etc. I agree 100%. And Junior Samples, you're exactly right. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is the truth. George Patton was killed by the U.S. government. No doubt about it. They took him out. George Patton died of a broken leg. I don't know if you knew that or not. He was in a car accident, ended up in a hospital, and never came out. He was definitely killed.
Is it okay to tell Junior that he's right on the radio? That feels dangerous.
I'm sure Junior is wrong somewhere. Yeah. No doubt, Linda, you're right. People weren't ready back in his first administration. After Biden, Trump is a breath of fresh air. The truth is you needed that break. If he would have had 8 years in a row, the Dems would have just kept battling. Instead, you got a 4-year break with that total vegetable idiot loser, Joe Biden, a guy that the Dems themselves had just completely refused at least 3 other times for president. A bonehead, a plagiarist, a prolific liar, what do you call it? Aggrandizing, self-promoting moron. Waffled on everything you can think of. I heard Joe Biden go, why are we having a special meeting on gay marriage? I mean, everybody knows it. He was always so emphatic. Everybody knows that marriage is between a man and a woman. What is this? Stupid. 10 years later, they were in love. I asked my dad, what was that, Dad? Just 2 men. I'm a senior in high school. Such a liar. Such a liar. I was a senior in high school. My dad was dropping me off at school. Really? I don't believe you, Joe. I bet that you were privileged enough that you drove your own 55 Chevy to school. Don't lie. My daddy was dropping me off at high school my senior year. And there were 2 men there in front of the school. They were in front of the school, folks. They were in business suits. They were just businessmen. And they kissed. They just kissed right there in front of the school. And I was like, Daddy, what is that? They're just in love, son. Does anybody believe that happened? Does anybody believe that a man in the 1940s or 50s told his son that 2 men kissing in public was, everybody was in the closet back then? Women smoked in the bathrooms. Who are we lying to here? Unbelievable. That guy was such a prolific clown. And some of you voted for him because you hated Trump so badly. Then you doubled down and voted for Kamala. Where is Kamala? Even her book tour is not eventful.
It's non-existent.
It's non-existent. Unbelievable. Let's take a break and we'll shift gears for a minute. Make your day even better. Chesnick Furniture, folks, inviting you to come in this week. Chesnick and Love, make your house a home. Get by and see why you just always do better at Chesnick. Bobby Leon and his family would love to help you outfit your home. You don't have to do a whole lot. You know, you can take up that rug, put down some dollar floor store flooring, get us some new furniture, maybe throw a little lighter shade on the walls, and your living room looks twice as big. It's a whole new house. You don't even have to move. Get by Chestnut today and let them give you ideas. Paravita Wellness and the Vita Cafe. Paravita Wellness this week. Go in, get some pre-made meals, gluten-free, preservative-free. Everything's fresh. Get by and see Erica Briggs and say, look, here's my blood work and I need these macros, and Erica will help you. She's not charging you for that. She wants to sell you the meals, and they're cheaper than eating out of a bag.
Did you see the cute little movie they did about what happens after hours at Vita Cafe?
No, what was it?
It was about the ghosts that come in and drink the coffee and all kinds of stuff. It was really cute. It's worth checking out on their social media.
It's on Facebook?
Yes, sir.
So go to Vita Cafe on Facebook and check it out. If the commander recommends a film, I watch it.
And it's not very long.
Yep. We'll get to Commander's film recommendations in a moment. Brand us. That is Cody.
That's us.
Reach out to Cody. Cody, give him a 10-second spiel, not 10 minute. Give him a
Oh, 10 minutes. That'd be awesome.
Take 10 seconds and tell them what you do.
We build amazing websites, and we do a lot of consulting for organizations who aren't sure if what they're paying for is worth their money, or if they don't know what to do. They don't know where to start with their marketing. We work with organizations, whether they want to hire us or not in the long run. We want to come in and make sure what you're paying for is worth your time.
There you have it. That was actually 12.5 seconds, but that's okay. Atzenhofer and Atzenhofer.com will cut Atzenhofer's ad short because everybody knows them. They've been here 100 years next year. They do. Amanda Blosky says, and Cody takes great pictures.
That's true. We own a real estate photography company.
There you go. Oh, yeah, that's true. Did you get your drone fixed?
We bought a new one.
Cody had a $3,000 drone, got hit by a bird, took a header.
No. The small one got hit by the bird.
Okay.
I did not let that.
Maybe
drone.
you need to arm your drone.
I do. The $3,000 drone we could probably arm. The little one's too
That'd be
small.
awesome. Like a dove's fighter. Drop that bird. Atzenhofer since 1926. Get by and see your next Chevrolet at Atzenhofer. Went Services, Went Electrical. I see their trucks more and more early in the morning. It's that time of year. People are getting quotes, and these guys are having to travel, which they're more than willing to do. Anywhere you can hear us, with the exception of like Canada, they'll come to you and install an American-made Generac generator, whole house generator to solve all your electrical problems. Worth noting, as we talked about cinema, if Cody recommends a film, it's good. He and I give 2 thumbs up to Father of the Bride. It's worth noting the passing of Miss Diane Keaton, who played the mom, who played the tolerant wife to the bumbling and hilarious Steve Martin in that film. I don't remember the girl's name that was so pretty, the bride, but I do remember that she is married to Brad Paisley.
Oh, Kimberly Paisley's her name now.
Kimberly, what was her name? Yeah. You took the easy way. You took the low-hanging fruit.
Right, absolutely. 100% I did.
Wonderful.
Williams was her last name. Kimberly Williams Paisley is her name.
There you have it. There you go. I just for those of you that care, I just can't. Tammy, I just can't. I mean, I don't know why you typed that garbage. Lisa Poole says Kimberly Paisley. Correct, Lisa. Thank you. So, Astros update, an Astros Sports Minute brought to you by the great folks at First State Bank of Louise. I have to tell you that they truly are the friendliest little bank anywhere. You can go in and visit. I encourage you, go by Stockbauer and Salem and just visit with Lolly. Go in and say, hey, Wade and Carter sent me. That would mean a lot to us. If you've got a young teen and you want to teach them a little bit about the value of money, go in there and open them a free checking account and a free savings account. That'll teach them value right away. Instead of giving them $20 cash and an allowance, give them $20 into their account. Teach them how to use a debit card that's provided with their free account. They can bank online with the First State Bank app for free, included. First State Bank of Louise wants to help you help your young person learn about money. It's worked great for Caden. He got a lesson because you're allowed, and I'm making this number up, I think it's 6. You're allowed 5 or 6 transactions a month for free. So if you've got $100 in your savings account and you need 20, you can transfer it over to your checking account for free up to a certain number of times per month. At the end of the day, they charge you if you go over a certain number. And Caden, I finally told him, I said, so why don't you, instead of, you need $20 to put into your Jeep, why do you only transfer $20? Why don't you just transfer 100 over there? And he goes, well, if I do, then I spend it. I said, that's a discipline problem, not a banking problem. See, you've got a discipline problem, and you need to learn that discipline. Hemi says that I should ask more interesting questions of our guests like AJ and Michael. Well, you're clearly on a first name basis with them, and I know for a fact that you belabor them with phone calls. Why don't you ask them the questions?
I like our questions.
I like our questions too, and apparently everybody likes our questions. We by far have the most popular program in this time slot. It's not even close. Good morning, Carrie Bump. I hope you're doing
and we
good.
did fact check that.
Absolutely.
We know for certain that's correct.
Absolutely. It's not even close. Let's see what we got here. Oh, Lilo just sent us a picture of ourselves. Hello, Lilo Arguelles. He is the guru. I want to give a shout out again. Magic 95.9 FM is such a fantastic radio station and format, and that they were integral in putting on the Tejas Fest. And it was, to me, a great success. As somebody who's tried to put together a little music show to try to have a little party downtown, it ain't easy. Magic pulled it off, and it was good. Teos Fest, I think, is going to continue to grow. I look forward to thrive in the years ahead. I think the key is always to get great music acts. And it costs money, right? So since there's no cover charge, it's very difficult. You can't just get, the Eagles to come here for $10 million and have it be free. It doesn't work that way. But somewhere in between, I wonder how many people would be dissuaded to pay $5 a head if the band was like Zach Top. Like somebody really hot at the moment.
I don't know. Maybe we could raise $10 million for the Eagles. That might be worth doing.
It would be worth doing. We could maybe collaborate with Calhoun County,
something.
Jackson County.
$10 million's not bad.
No, it'd be good. 10's a good deal.
We could feed a lot of people though for $10 million.
Sure. Yeah, we could if we were into that.
Maybe the Eagles would donate their money. Probably not.
Probably. They're old.
Did you hear Rush is going to do another tour?
All right, Russia's doing a tour right now in Ukraine.
Yes. And
Rush.
Rush. Yeah. The drummer passed away a long time ago, so they have this young lady who is going to be the new drummer.
Was that Neil Peart?
Yes, that's the band.
Yeah.
Yes, they're pretty old.
Yeah,
but they're doing one more tour.
Something. Neil Peart was something to observe. So the Astros update to continue our great appreciation. Yes, thank you, Junior. Wade and Carter night downtown was good, and we could do it again. The band's available. I need a little pull through. I need some support on that to be encouraged to do it. The update is this: a while back, it came to me that Jose Altuve had intimated to someone that I have contact with that the Astros were not. This was after the Seattle series, before they played the Angels and the A's. Jose said, "We're not gonna finish this season strong. We're not going to make the wild card. We're not going to make the playoff." And I was stunned when I heard it. I said, "What? I mean, all they have to do is just win a couple of games," which was true, and they didn't. And the comment was made that we're weak. And we don't lift heavy weights anymore. We used to be, I guess, when Dusty Baker was there, and maybe 2 years ago under Espada, the weight program was different than what they've been doing. He says they've been doing a lot of the elastic bands and not as many weights. And he goes, our team is tired and weak and injury prone. This is Jose Altuve talking. This weekend, Astros fired their strength coach. Now, if you don't think that those two comments are related, you're just not watching what's going on with the Cards. Jose Altuve walked into management and said, "Hey, nobody, we're losing. We're losing because we're weak." That was kind of my Hispanic German. I saw nothing.
Don't ever do that again.
I shouldn't do that. Is that, I don't know, is that racist?
I think you offended like 4 groups of people.
No, there's no chance. Nobody gets offended anymore. They just roll with the program. That's the great thing. Once they know your heart, you can tell them anything. Once they know you care about them, you can tell them anything. That's what makes it great. Our listeners on Magic, our Hispanic audience on Magic is the strongest audience we have. They were also the most resistant when we first showed up. But they've seen what we do in the community. They see who we support when the rubber hits the road. And it's been a great run with them. Yeah. Now you've got Tammy Williams and Andy, and they take care of the light work, and I appreciate that. Anyway, I guess I could do this just because out of pure respect, let me just give you the.
It's about time I get some respect.
Oh, yeah. No, not you.
Oh.
Stephanie Conti, Daniel Wade White, Ricky King, Rena Shear. Good morning, Rena. Mark Kurtz, Greg Garcia, Lisa Poole, Scott Tomko, Bobby Leister, Marvin Mickish, Jordan Glass, Linda Christ Jr. Look at that. Heather Stewart. She's already at school. Monty Howard, Tammy Williams, JP, of course, Scott Tomko. We're so blessed to have so many of you. So many of you have such a sphere, not just a circle, but a sphere of influence up and down your food chains, out and about in the community. When you put down, if you just put in 2 dimensions, if you took your little circle of influence and you just put them down, and we all connected on how we know each other. Scott and I go back to Little League, and Tammy Keeling and I go back to high school, and Amani Howard and I go back to Texas, and you tie it all together, we have a footprint of influence in this community that goes on and on and on. And we should work together to make things happen. I think too often, and I think it's what happens with Donald Trump, people get sideways to the point that they no longer look at what's right, what's best for the country, what's even best for themselves. They look at what's bad for their opponent. It's not about what's bad for your opponent. It's about what's good for the country. Unless you're Texas, then it's great to be what's bad for OU. Longhorns win 23-6 this last weekend. Arch Manning goes 21 of 27, has a couple of TDs. The Horns looked good. I think we've identified the problem. The problem to me seems to be the offensive line. They did lose several players, not to graduation, but to the NFL. So they had some big holes to fill. I'm not sure they got them filled. But the Horns bounced back from what should not have been a loss to Florida, and they beat OU for the 3rd time in 4 years. And for the 3rd time in 4 years, OU fails to score even 1 touchdown. OU was 5-0. Texas was I don't know what they were at the time, 2-2, something like that. And at the end of the day, the Horns win, and now both teams are 1-1 in SEC play. The Aggies remain undefeated. They're 6-0. They had a very impressive game against the Florida Gators, who are now 2-4. One of their victories being against Texas. Aggies come out. It's 14-14 at the quarter, 21-14 at the half, 24-17 at the end of the third, and the Aggies scored the final 10 points to beat them 34-17. My contention with the Aggies has always been, and will remain until I am convinced otherwise by performance, that when they really get into tough games, not comparing them to Texas, I think they're better than Texas. So don't look at it as like, oh, yeah, well, take that. You lost to whoever. That's not the point. The Aggies are seeking a superlative level that is bigger than Texas. They're trying to go to the national relevance level. They're ranked 4 in the country. They're 6-0, and they just simply don't have a quarterback that can get them to the highest level. When they have 4 games, I don't even know what their immediate schedule is, but with the exception of Samford, their next 4 weeks are going to be tough. I think they play Arkansas. They play, I don't know. They've got LSU. They've got a couple of tough games coming up. And if it comes down to quarterback play, I just don't think that Marcel Reed is the guy. Now, you may recall that I really championed his effort against Notre Dame, but we have since been shown that Notre Dame really isn't all that good. So I'm in a holding pattern only on that one position. If A&M can solve that riddle, if that kid develops into what they need, I think A&M could win it all. I do. I think they could win it all. Can't believe I said that. Can't believe I said that out loud. Patrick Strauss says, told you Friday the Horns would bounce back this week and give the fans hope until their next loss. Probably Georgia if they get by Vandy. Patrick Strauss, an unashamed Aggie with 0 love for my Longhorns. And that's okay. And that's okay. There you have it. That's all right. We're both huge Astros fans. That helps. Peter McNally chimes in with the comment of the day, sir. Tech is rolling 6-0. It does not hurt that Tech benefits from playing in the now what's left of. I think there's like 25 teams in it. The Big 12, that no longer involves Texas or Oklahoma. Texas and Oklahoma accounting for pretty much every Big 12 championship, with OU definitely having the lion's share of those. So Tech rolling is correct. What you find at Texas Tech that I find the most compelling is that, as far as I know, nobody has scored on Tech in the second half. They had a quarterback get hurt. They put in a different quarterback who ran the ball instead, and Tech just rolled. They just rolled. Texas Tech is on a roll. It just goes to show what tons of money and commitment from fans can do. There you go. The Dallas Cowboys, we got to wrap this show up with the Dallas Cowboys. Did what the Dallas Cowboys do. I still have them going 9-7-1. They're just not good at money time. And Dak Prescott still looks amazing, but he's just not a champion.
Maybe they're also training with strength bands and not weights.
Could be. Folks, we wish you nothing but love. We love you. We'll be here in the morning. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Well, I've been kicked out of my near every bar around. I've been locked up for driving 100